Hey everybody, this is Bill from the Bill Heenan team over at William Ravis Real Estate. Today is July 28th. It's been a while. I have to confess, I got married, I was on a honeymoon, I traveled through Europe for a couple weeks, and now I'm back and back to work. My team worked hard though. It was a busy 6 weeks for us. There's no doubt about that. I think at last count we have somewhere approaching 60 homes pending right now. So that's a new mark for my team and I, and we're really, really grateful for the business. But I wanted to indulge into the numbers a little bit. You know, I think the last time I took a look at the numbers and what the absorption rates were was June 9th. So here we are, July 28th, almost 6 weeks or whatever that is, more than 6 weeks later. I wanted to see what it looked like. And once again, I am surprised. You know, we still haven't seen much of a slowdown. As I talked about last month, certainly we've seen less units selling this year than we did last year just because we don't have as many homes to sell. You know, exception for us because we've been really fortunate to have a lot of inventory. But across the broad market, there's fewer and fewer homes coming on the market, so there's fewer and fewer units being sold. But when I look at the absorption rates throughout the county, and I checked them all out, I checked out East Lyme, Old Lyme, Montville, New London, Norwich, Waterford, they are really holding their own, and in some cases they've improved since June. I think the one that I noticed the most was East Lyme in the last, and I did it for 60 days, and I did it this time on a 60-day absorption rate. How many homes have sold in 60 days? Because we're into a summer cycle right now, and typically that affects our inventory. Our inventory tends to build a little bit during the summer cycle, but that has not been the case this year. And I checked out East Lyme. I think East Lyme last year, or last month, I mean, we had about 4 weeks of inventory. We are down to 18 days of inventory in East Lyme. We've sold over 147 units. Either they've sold or they're under contract at this point in the last 60 days, and there's only 45 units for sale. As I travel through the county a little bit, New London, 85 units have sold or are pending in the last 60 days, and we only have 35 units active. That's 12 days of inventory. If we move over to Montville, we've sold 82 units in the last 60 days, either sold or pending, and we only have 26 units available, 10 days worth of inventory. And then once again, the big surpriser as of last month and this month as well is Norwich, with 202 units selling in the last 60 days, either pending or sold and closed, and only 46 units for sale, 7 days of inventory. That's an incredible absorption rate. You know, I've seen a lot of dialogue come out of the national market about how, you know, this thing is starting to shift towards the buyer's favor. And in our county, that is a ridiculous statement. This is still one of the strongest seller climates I've ever experienced in my greater than 30-year career in the real estate business. You know, once you get, to put that in perspective, when you get to about 6 weeks of inventory, now you're starting to talk about a little bit more balanced market. As it goes past 6 weeks of inventory, 45 days to sell a house, then now you're talking about starting to shift towards a buyer's market. So once again, it's an incredible seller's market, and if you're thinking about making a move in the next 10 years, now's the time to get into this marketplace and get your house sold and start to take steps to wherever you're going to go from here. And another thing I wanted to touch base on a little bit is certainly we've seen more sellers reduce. You know, I've had some dialogue with my agents and some training around how to handle that conversation when we're talking about a seller. You know, our concept here at the Heenan team is we like to prepare a house as much as possible within reason, and then once we know everything's done, as much as we can do before we list the house, then we can focus on price. You know, in a balanced market, 50% of the homes we sell, we adjust the price to get them sold. That's not the case these days. We barely adjust 10% of our homes to get them sold. 90% sell at the asking price or greater than the asking price that we list them at. But in a more balanced market, it takes a little bit more dialogue and a little bit more effort. So keep that in mind. So as we do shift further and further towards a balanced market, because I do think that we will head there, you will see more and more reductions with any listings that we have or anybody has in the county. That's just a typical scenario. You do what you can to list a house, you put the price out there, and then you do your marketing and you base your adjustments on price on activity or lack of activity, lack of showings, the feedback that you're fielding over a 30-day process. So So reductions are becoming a little bit more prevalent. But as you can see, we've had some great agents out there having some great dialogue with our sellers because we still have incredible absorption rates to the seller's favor. So once again, if you're thinking about making a move either on the buy side or the sell side, we're always here to help you with any of your questions. You can reach out to us directly on our website at www.billheenan.net, or you can always reach me directly on my cell phone at 860-460-8053. I always look forward to your call. And remember, in today's market, it takes a team to win.